Hello, hello there, Nettie here. Hey, how you doing? Happy to have you here. Happy to see you. Happy that you are tuning in this day for these lovely messages that we're about to receive. Um, yeah. So Spirit been talking, and really this time I had to lock in just a little bit more to figure the message this time. I don't want to say figure out or figure, but um today was has started out interesting. So, some days anyway, before I get to that, I'm doing great. Then I say some days you working harder on your energy and yeah, it seems to be to me that whenever I people a little bit, then I have to do a little extra work on my energy. It's easy to cultivate your own energy when you and your energy are alone with each other. uh, if you're intentional about it, but sometimes you can see a little bit of difference whenever you get out there and people a little bit. That don't let that stop you from people and just get better at cultivating your energy, whether it be hanging out with people who don't affect your energy so greatly and or just being able to wrangle in that energy and get it back into alignment whenever it comes that time, because sometimes you don't really have any control over the energy. Sometimes it's new people, you don't really know what their energy gonna be like. That was what happened. Anyway, and Spirit said that part is good for this next part because it's time for you to start getting out some more. Spirit has been showing me these dragonflies, and it is a sign of new beginnings. It is um, time for newness, time to do some things that you haven't done before. Time to get back out and do some fun things that maybe you have done before but have fallen off from doing. But it's time for growth and it's time for change. And it's so interesting because Spirit pointed my attention to the evolution of dragonflies. I don't know if you have seen dragonflies, but if you haven't, I imagine you will from this point forward. And if you have, I it could be similar to me. I have been seeing an unusual amount of dragonflies, not butterflies. But even outside of the window that I'm sitting in front of, there are dragonflies everywhere. They are just flying around as a nod to and symbolism of, yes, it is time for new beginnings. So, if you have a chance, have a look at, Spirit pointed me to this as a confirmation, the a life cycle and evolution of the dragonfly. There's at least one time lapse on there by National Geographic of the life cycle of a dragonfly, and I've not known much about dragonflies until I looked this up, and it's so amazing. Spirit wants us to make sure that we are mindfully connected to nature in a number of ways. Take note of the things that you encounter and at what point you have this encounter with them, what is taking place, what's going on whenever you have this encounter, and search for depth of meaning in that. Everything has a deeper meaning than whatever it appears to be on the surface. So it's worth it to have a deeper dive into some more details about whatever it is that you find that you are encountering a lot. Whatever the signs are, there is messages that are hidden sometimes below the surface of whatever it is the sign is that is presenting to you. No different than with these dragonflies. We we know that in this ecosystem, everything feeds off of one another. But we only think about it in certain ways. We don't think about as it relates to the messages that spirit has for us and how these things present themselves to us to be able to show us these different seasonalities in life and just different things. And so that is what this dragonfly is representative of at this point, the seasonality, the season change in your life. Season for all of us. There is this part, I did not know this, but if we could recognize how we are one with all things and just look at them, we will be so much better off. We understand a whole lot more about how we transition through this life. Everything has a life cycle. You are no different. All the animals, all the trees, all the insects, everything has a life cycle. And every single thing changes. That is a constant in this life, and your life is no different. So, in this life cycle time lapse they did with this dragonfly, I didn't know this, but dragonflies live a lot of their life underwater first. Yeah, underwater. And then they decide instinctually. And so sometimes you are changing instinctually. You are finding the nudge within yourself that says, hey, it is time to change. Just like this nymph is what they're called when they're at this stage. So they're swimming around, they are predators underwater, and they are living a completely different life and just, doing their thing underwater. Then one day, instinctually, they decide it is time to change. And once they make this determination, they've made up their mind, they climb up a branch or a tree or some form of grassy structure that pulls them out of the water. And when they get out, they begin to transform. They change and take on the form of the dragonfly that we see flying around. They do not start off underneath water with wings. They only get wings once they make this transformation outside of water. So very much like you see when the cicada sheds its shell and you see just that little crunchy bit that's left behind, dragonflies do the same thing. I did not know that. They peel up out of that thing. It's kind of like their cocoon. And so they call it molting if I'm not mistaken, where they extract themselves, the hard shell bursts open, and then there's this soft dragonfly that emerges, and it's all gooey and slimy and looks disgusting. And then the wings begin to harden and the legs begin to harden. They say the legs harden in about 30 minutes. And then they can fly. They've taken on a completely different identity. And so Spirit is using this to say today that when you make up your mind to change, just go on and change. Climb up and allow this process to take place. And don't listen, I'd imagine that this is a very tiring process that this dragonfly goes through. But the dragonfly doesn't give up midway through the evolution and the change. It doesn't throw in the towel and say, look, I'm not changing no more. I've decided against it. They complete the change and they go on to be the best possible version of the dragonfly they can possibly be. And so make sure that you are not giving up midway on the journey. You don't know how close you are to the breakthrough. It is upon you, but it's important for you to take this change, to make this change, to transform in this season. Everything is happening for a reason. It's all a part of the transformation process for you. So bear that in mind whenever these different things are happening. And don't forget why you started this change. Don't forget why you made up your mind and said that you wanted to change. That reason is still very valid, is still very good. Just because it's not going the way that maybe you had envisioned it to, that don't mean that change is not still supposed to take place. So stick to it and go on and make this change, evolve. Gosh, Spirit is just drawing me back to the things that we can learn paying attention to nature. Pay close attention to nature. We discount and we get caught up in life. Life be life, and you could give a damn about a bug or any other insect, right? Or trees, or you ain't think about none of that shit when life is rough. But take stop and have a look and think more about the evolution processes with many of these things, because these things are here as an example to you of how you can change and how your life can change. Take nothing for granted. Consider the trees in the fall. That tree, throughout the rest of the year, the tree be green, right? It's just its regular old self. But then in the fall, it starts to turn these beautiful colors. But then after the beautification process, it drops all of what was considered beautiful. And it's bare. In many of them, there's nothing but just limbs. All you see is limbs on the tree. All that was beautiful about it has gone. But you know what? In the next season, it'll all grow back. It's shed the thing that was once considered so beautiful in this process to continue growing. Just pay attention. Even your body, you shed skin. That's what's happening. You know, you see you ashy, that's dead skin. You molt in very similar ways, but this molting that's taking place, very much like this dragonfly, is happening internally. You are getting nudges from your internal guide that say, hey, it's time to change. It's time to do something different. You don't know exactly what, you don't know exactly why, you don't know exactly where it's come from, and you don't have to know. All you need to know is that it's time. I tell you where though, it's the highest version of yourself. It's your spirit. It's the God that lives within you that's pushing you more toward the things that you say that you want. So make the necessary changes. Do the things that are necessary to get you to the place that you said you wanted to be. You are creating this life. You've chosen this. You have chosen this. So go ahead and make the necessary changes. Do what you got to do. And Spirit will continue to lead. Spirit will show you every step of the way. So it's nothing to fret about. It's nothing to be fearful about. Just like you got that initial just burning desire to go ahead and change in whatever ways that might be. That all came from within. Now maybe Spirit showed you something and that got you thinking. But ultimately the decision is always made on the inside. And perhaps you said, I want to be an actress. I want to be a movie star. I want to be famous. I want to create things. I want to help the world. I want to create music. Whatever you said, Spirit said, bet. Yes, because Spirit only knows yes. And begin to place these different pieces in your life that get you where you say you want to be. Even if it's the opposite, even if it, like in the last video we talked about, even if it's the opposite thing than you say, that's giving you the opportunity to resist or turn that thing down and go in the direction of what you say you want. It's all about what you choose. Whatever you make your mind up to do, whatever transformation you want to do or have in your experience, this life is for you. You can live it however you please, in whatever ways, having whatever experiences you want to have. It's all up to you. It's not pre-written. It's not predestined. It's it's for you. Whatever you choose, because there's a version of you living every possible scenario. And the decisions that you make now, the changes that you make now, put you on track with whatever that path is that you choose. Ain't never too late to change your mind. So if you decide you don't want to go down the homeless path no more, and you rather be rich, so be it. You just choose that path. It ain't got to be no grand gesture. It don't have to be, a showcase of different things to get you there. You just do it because you have that power. Anyway, that's the message. I leave you with this message in love and in light only and always. Be encouraged. Remember why you started. Keep on going. It ain't up yet. Until next time.